someone tells you that you are
Strength
something, you may
standing
start
up
to
for yourself
internalize that and
and,
believe
Be
it.
authentically
definitely,
you,
being
Hi there.
unapologetically you.
My name is Jillian Weishaar. I'm the Manager of Education and Diversity and Inclusion here at Parts Authority. Recently, I had the opportunity to sit down with several of our executives and get their thoughts around inclusive language and the importance and impact of the words that we use.
As a lawyer generally, I think words are important. It helps to make clear your thoughts on things. So you could alienate someone with a word or bring them closer together. We spend a lot of time negotiating words in documents. And on a personal level, words are really important for helping to identify who you are. I think if someone tells you that you are something, you may start to internalize that and believe it.
I believe that as a young adult growing up in my generation, that I was taught that you can say sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. But it's not true. The reality is words can be very hurtful. Words can make you feel a lot of things. And I'm cognizant of it from in how I speak and then in how I receive information as well.
My whole young life, my mom said that I was dainty and fragile and a bookworm, and so I never pursued athletics. And my sister was the strong person, and she was the one who was the athlete because my mom portrayed that, and not that my mom was doing anything wrong. That's how she perceived me. But those words weren't true because as I became an adult, I became a runner, I lift heavy weights, I do all of these things that, and when my personal trainer called me an athlete, I was like startled. Like it was a word that I had never identified for myself, and so that is why I think words are important.
I've experienced negative situations, and I used it to fuel me, to drive me forward and push me forward and help me advance.
I believe that the words that you're told or that you tell yourself over and over again do shape who you are, how you behave, what you believe, how you believe in yourself, and what you're willing to do. Because if you believe you can't do something because you're told that, then you won't try it. So I believe that the words that you're told or tell yourself shape who you are.
For me personally, there's something called fight or flight. I am definitely a fight person, right? And, when people come to me for advice sometimes in the company, they're having trouble with somebody or they're having trouble with their supervisor or maybe somebody in the department, I always encourage them to speak their mind because you can't assume that somebody knows what you're thinking. But in context of this particular thing where people are concerned about what other people are saying, actual words, hurtful words that are being used, prejudicial words. I have, quite a history of that in my own experience, right? Growing up on Long Island, you would think the suburbs not so bad. I experienced a lot of racism. I'm a Jewish guy, and through junior high school and high school, it was a lot of anti-Semitism, and I couldn't believe it, and I stood up against it and had several fights. And in my life, I didn't mind, if people cursed at me, that didn't bother me. But if somebody called me something regarding my race, that really bothered me, and that would really tick me off. And for me, I'm the kind of guy that, let out the anger and confronted it right away. But a lot of people don't have that. So a message that I would want to give to our company, we're so proud of the culture of this company. If the number one thing that I'm proud of all these years, and so are my partners, is the quality of the people in this company. And our vendors say it, our customers say it, we've experienced it year after year. We're in so many different states now. We have so many people working here. And the number one thing that people talk about is our culture. To hear and the few people that say negative things like this and that could offend another person, I want them to think twice about doing that. And, more than twice. They shouldn't, in this day and age, it's 2023, we shouldn't have that at all in this company, okay? And it is extremely offensive. And, it's a two-pronged approach. The people who are using that offensive language, they have to be aware and not to use it anymore. But the people that are hearing it, that are offended, they have to stop it right there and say, hey, that offends me. And if there's enough people doing that on both sides, it's going to clear itself up, in a quick manner. But it is a very serious thing, and, we got to be better at it.
The topic here is words matter. And I want to share a couple of things with you that I've learned over the years about speaking. One is, if you're mentoring somebody, it's always good to mentor from I. I had this experience, I did this, this is what I learned. I find that's much more effective than, talking down to somebody. I also try to avoid being prescriptive.
The first thing I would do is apologize, because while it's not intentional, in my mind, I would never intend to hurt somebody. That's irrelevant. If I hurt somebody or if I said something that offended them, I owe them an apology. So that's the first thing. Second, I would want to understand what I said and what it was that offended them to be able to learn from it, so I won't do it again. I want to make everyone feel safe. I want to make anyone that I'm engaging with feel comfortable, feel safe, feel that they can be themselves unapologetically, authentically. I feel it's really important that nobody should ever have to act or hide who they are. So if my words could cause somebody to feel that they need to act a different way or speak a different way or not be authentically who they are, that would devastate me.
First off, I would start off by apologizing, because that's not the kind of culture we're trying to create here. And secondly, I try to understand what I said and how I said it, or what made them feel some type of way, and I'd fix it. I'd move forward, and it wouldn't happen again.
I would absolutely apologize immediately. And believe it or not, that happens all the time. And, I find, I make a lot of mistakes. And just happened yesterday where, I was talking to somebody and, I wasn't aware, but I made a mistake. Somebody did. It was actually 20-year-old. And, we weren't culturally aligned. And there is a generation gap, and there are differences between cultures. And I thanked them, and I apologized, and I'm glad to know that, And I experienced it with my own children, but there are different age groups and different generations in our company. We have people from 75 years old down to 18 years old in our company. So there's a lot of different cultures and age groups and experiences out there, and it is a pretty big melting pot, and people have to be aware of that. But your question was, I'm very happy to hear when I maybe offended somebody, and I always think the first thing you should do is apologize.
I would never expect anybody to just accept what I say. I would always expect that they would be honest and upfront with me and tell me if I said anything that's offensive to them or they believe may be offensive to others. I think it's really important to be an ally for those who maybe aren't comfortable speaking up for themselves. So if I inadvertently say something that could be offensive to somebody else, even if they're not offended, I would strongly hope that they would speak out and tell me that I said something that wasn't appropriate or that could potentially offend somebody.
Well, like I said earlier, we are so proud of the culture we have. When I started in business, which for me was 1984 was when I became a partner in Parts Authority. None of this was going on in my head. People say, "How did you? Well, did you expect to be here?" I never expected any of this. I always took everything one day at a time. But looking back, one of the accomplishments in my life that I'm the most proud of is what Parts Authority means. Okay, it doesn't mean everything the same thing to everybody, but one thing that we're very proud of is the type of people that work here, the people that really care, and the longevity. I get messages every time we send out, our newsletter. Once a month we send out, our newsletter that marketing puts together, and it has the anniversaries here. And I always get comments of people who are working here over 40 years, over 35 years, 30 years, and that we do that recognition. And that's a long time. That's a long time for people to stick with one company, and they're not sticking here, just for a paycheck. They're sticking here because we are doing a lot of the right things, and we can always be better. And I'm grateful that we have our HR department doing these things to call attention to everybody else to improve it going forward, because we weren't always able to do that in our company. So to me, this is just an extra added feature of our company that we're able to really work on driving forward, including all these feelings.
We covered a lot today, and for some of you this might be new. For others this might not be. But we are asking that everyone makes a change. Now, we do know that change can be hard, but we're not looking for perfection. What we are looking for is effort. And we are looking for you to make a genuine effort in being more mindful and thoughtful in the words that you choose. We invite all of you to join us in committing to driving forward.
Hi, my name is Ryan Persad. I'm the Regional
name is
Vice
Dina,
President of
Nikocevic, and
Operations.
I'm
My name is Larry
Executive
Schneider.
Developer.
I'm Vice President of
My
Accounting
name is
Payroll,
Robyn,
and I'm
and I'm
committed to
Chief
driving
Human
forward.
Resources Officer.
Hi,
and I'm
I'm
committed
Yaron,
to
and
driving
I am
forward.
My name
committed
is
to
Jillian
driving
Weishaar.
forward.
I'm the
Lisa
Manager of
Tanzi.
Education and
I'm
Diversity
General
and Inclusion,
Counsel of Parts
and I'm
Authority,
committed
and
to
I
My name is
am
Eric
committed
Schwartz.
to
I'm
driving
the Chief
forward.
Operating Officer for Parts
I'm
Authority.
Randy Buller.
and
I'm
I'm
the
committed
CEO
to
of
driving
Parts
forward.
Authority, and I am committed to driving forward.